Welcome back, my lords and ladies, to the season one finale of The North Remembers, a discussion on House of the Dragon. Episode 10, and we're calling it Final Tribute. So, it's all pretty much reached it ahead, with everything that's happened now that Aegon's been, well, he's usurped the throne, right?
Well, I'd say Queen.
The Queen, yeah. And
putting
Otto.
egg on there.
So it cuts right away. It starts at the war table at Dragonstone. The old, cool, looked like it's shaved out of oak or driftwood, probably, or no, probably the Dragonstone, like the
Stone.
black,
No,
the black
it's,
stone.
I don't know if it's Dragonstone, but it's definitely looks like stone to me.
Um, so it's got Lucas in there, Viserys, and he's just kind of sitting there looking at everything, and he's touching the driftwood part. Clearly, still dwelling on the fact that Lord Corlys is not knowing whether he's going to live or die, and the kid really loathes the idea of taking over. So his mom walks in. She's like, "How's it going?" Kind of thing, and he's like, "Sneak's gonna die, isn't he?" "I can't be Lord of Driftmark. Grandpa was the greatest sailor who's ever lived. I get fucking sick the minute we pull out of port. I'll ruin it. I'll ruin it all.
Got no sea legs, Ma.
Yeah, I'll ruin everything." And she's like, "It's all right. When I was, named Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, I wasn't ready. But Grandpa gave you a choice. You told us so." "Well, yes. And at first it was difficult. I wasn't ready.
Scared as shit.
I was scared to fucking death."
And she was like, I was just like you, 14 years old.
Yeah, I was 14.
10 and 4.
Yeah, 10 and 4. And I had to, same age as you, and I learned that I had to kind of earn my inheritance. And when your grandpa was there to help me, just like, "I'll be here to help you. Not like you." And she's like, "How's that? My sweet boy." Right there, she said it. When she says, "My sweet boy," he's soft, is what it is. He's soft, and he's he likes paint and shit.
Yeah, but you could say, in that sense, Viserys was kind of soft,
Yeah. He's more
he learned how to become more straight.
Yeah, but
when
yeah.
he became king,
Yeah, and that's true. He even says that I wanted to be a dreamer because I was a dragon rider a little bit.
And
he was
Queen
not,
Alicent's like, you would have been fine being a country lord.
he would have been totally cool just fucking kicking it.
Yeah.
But
he's a man of leisure.
Yeah. He thought he wanted it, he got it, and once he was in it for a while, he realized, holy shit, I would much rather be playing with my Legos. This is horse shit.
Right.
Everybody wants me to have a boy. My wife can't handle it. So basically, she's, I'm going to be here to help, And then the guard comes in and informs them that Princess Rhaenys has just arrived on Dragonback. And she requests an urgent audience with you and Daemon. And Luke looks fucking stressed right then.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, right?
She's going to be like, he's dead. I'm here to take your boy. We're going to Driftmark.
Yeah. Sea Snake's dead. Time for the boy to come fucking do his duty. And that's how he looked like we were just talking about that.
Right.
God damn it.
So she's like, as soon as she comes in, she's like, we hope they hear good news from...
Yeah, I hope the Sea Snake's all right. And she's like, Viserys is dead.
That shit cuts her off.
Yeah, cuts her off quick.
Viserys is dead.
And she's like, and then it shows Daemon turn back from the fire, like, okay, this is worth fucking hearing, I guess. And she basically tells her they crowned Aegon in the Sept or in the Dragon Pits in front. And she's like, she starts to get a stomachache in front of the masses. Yeah, to ensure that everyone recognizes him as their king,
Yeah.
And she's
and Daemon's like, they killed fucking Viserys. Like,
yeah, he's like, wait,
I don't know.
Yeah, how'd he die? Oh. And then he's like, okay, well, obviously he's been slain.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of starts hurting again. And oh my God, she's like, she asked you, Alicent asked you or put Aegon on the throne and threatened you basically to
support him.
And she's like, she did. And he's like, and? They're looking at her kind of like, and she's like, I refused. And yet you're still alive, Daemon asks, She's like, I saw him at the Dragon Pit just before I,
took
fled.
off on Melee's, and he's like,
And
you
that's
could've
when he was
burned
like,
them all.
yeah.
You could have fucking.
That's when he got real pissed, and he's like, that whore of a queen murdered my brother and stole his throne, and you could have burned him. And she's like,
And that's kind of what everybody's been talking about when
Yeah,
it was
like-
online. So like, she could have ended it all right there.
but what she says is even better than like, cause I heard like people talking about like, oh, it was like a motherly thing between her and Allison.
Yeah.
She wasn't gonna kill her children in the way that her children had been killed, but it turns out her explanation is a lot more practical, not so heartfelt. It's a lot more practical and smart.
Yeah.
No, there's a war coming, obviously, and I'm not gonna be the one to start it.
Yeah, it's like I just thought about this, but it's like you could be blamed for like starting a war. Like Rhaenyra could have been like, "Why the fuck did you kill them all?" Like now we're in a fucking battle with all of their families
Exactly.
and shit like that. So yeah, smart move to not.
The smartest move she could make was like, okay, I'm gonna show that I'm not just somebody to be fucked with,
Yeah.
but also I can't just fucking. And I think that's maybe why later we see. I'll mention it later, but she does not bow. to
Yeah.
Rhaenyra later.
Well, that's another thing I've been thinking. I was like, is she back on the "it's my throne" wagon? You know.
Yeah, like maybe it'll come to
'Cause
me.
all
'Cause
her-
they're gonna kill you.
Basically, all of her kids are dead. So it's like, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Fucking go rule.
Or go retire and die. So basically, yeah, she says the war is likely to start and it's not mine to begin. I only came here out of loyalty to my husband and to my house. The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra,
And your children.
and your children. You're best to get out of Dragonstone. She's like, again. And then she like reaches down and, oh shit, baby's on its way. And then just,
Rhaenys actually stops. She's like
Right
walking
then.
away.
yeah, and then
And she's like, what?
oh shit. Like I can't just do that now.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts straight to Rhaenyra pacing around the room in her basically nightgown. Fuck, shit, like in pain. And the maester's like, her term's not even like fucking half over. This should not be happening. And she's like, well, it is fucking happening.
Yeah.
And they're like, keep your head, princess.
Well,
Don't get too stressed.
nurses or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just help you. And she's like, get the fuck away from me.
Get off me! Get off me! Like, you've done this fucking 5 times before. It's all good. You're a fucking baby machine. You're not like your mom. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. So then Damon's like not there. He's already discussing like, okay, we got to defend the walls, this and that. If the Greens come in, they're gonna come by stealth.
Yeah.
You know,
he's
wherever
like,
they
look
do.
for any- spread out along the perimeter. We don't have that many men,
And
but
you
we
hear,
can
like-
make us look like we're in force. You
And
know.
then you hear Rhaenyra just wailing. Why? Everyone uncomfortable. Cut to Jason and Luke on the beach, training with their swords. Luke sucks. Jace like fucking bitch slaps him, like gut nails him, knocks him
Yeah.
on the ground, and then he's like drags him. I'm like, what was that? What was that? He's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then even the guard's like, perhaps you take it a little easier so you can learn what you're like
What
trying
you're
to
trying to
teach.
teach him, yeah.
Like, we ain't got time for that. We're going to war. He doesn't even know that yet.
Yeah.
Bernice is right there, and she's like, your mother needs you, both of you. So then they get there to her, and she's fucking just sitting. And the first thing she says, and then they see her, and they look like concerned, mom's in trouble. She's like, fuck.
Yeah. She's not even on the screen when it's
Yeah,
she's like,
you can hear it. in the
hands over to
background.
them, and she's like, fuck.
You can hear fuck, really, apparently, which is awesome. And she basically explains the situation. The King Viserys, your grandsire is dead. And the Aemon, and the Greens have refuted the line of succession, and Aegon has been crowned king. And Jace is like, well, what the fuck's going to be done about it? She's like, nothing yet. He's like, well, where the fuck's Daemon? I don't know. Off into madness, or off to plan his war. Like she already knows. He's just looking for any excuse, right? Which he obviously is. Now they've given him one. He hated Otto from
See, the thing is, I don't know if I call it an excuse. Like, it's he loved his brother. He married the queen or the princess. That was me. And he married the princess, and she was supposed to be queen, and that was kind of their whole kind of deal. Like she was like, we were better together. Like we'll fucking rule this place, shit like that. Like she talked him into it.
And now the Hightowers are like taking their kids.
Yeah, it's just because they were away. They were at Dragonstone.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? You kill my brother and usurp her throne just because we're not there.
Yeah, and you do it with, like, I get it.
And he does hate Otto.
And
he
I know.
fucking hates
Oh,
Otto.
he fucking low. Every time he sees him, he's talking shit to him.
The one time not is when he's leaned up against the door, like, not my family, not my problem kind of a thing. When all the kids fucked each other up.
Yeah.
He just laughed. He's like, none of these are my
But
kids.
and that's the funny thing is that when in episode 1, he makes that really mean comment to Otto about like your own lady wife passed recently. You know, maybe you should look into somebody to warm your bed, and you feel bad for Otto a little bit.
Yeah.
But now, after seeing what a dick he is, you're like,
maybe she didn't kill herself.
Maybe she
Just
did.
saying.
And so yeah, he's Jace back to Jace. Jace says, "Okay, we'll leave Damon to me." He goes off, and she's like, Jaceres, whatever claim remains to me is you're now the heir of. So, naught is to be done without my command. Like, basically, understand? You're gonna take what's
Don't go off and let fucking
Damon fuck everything up and lose us this, because then you're not gonna get anything. Think about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you'll die in the war. Like, he's gonna expect you to fight with your dragon.
Yeah. And he kind of nods at her like, "Okay, Mom." And it's back to Damon on the war path, right? He hears news that the sea snake's fever is broke. And it's unclear, though, where's he sailing? It's unclear. Where is he going to go? He continues to talk while Rhaenyra screams, this time calling his name. Like, Damon! And the fucking guy's like, hey, would you like to go, talk with the maester? And he just kind of looks at him like,
yeah, he gives him like a death stare, like, excuse me?
None of your fucking concern.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. This is important. Don't worry about my wife and her screaming, crying, and shit. That's my concern, not yours.
So yeah, he sends off
and he's like,
ravens to like 3 different new name
And
families or whatever.
And he's like, I'll fly to Riverlands myself for him to totally support, right? And in walks Jace. You'll do no such thing.
Yeah.
My mother has declared that no action be taken while she's in bed. And then Damon's like, all right, well, it's a good thing you're here, young prince. You're needed to patrol on your dragon or whatever. And he's like, didn't you hear me? And Damon's just like, the ravens,
Yeah.
to the last guy that's standing there that hasn't left
He's like,
yet.
I'll get on it.
Yeah, and he's like, you get on them fucking things. And he's like, he goes to walk out and he says, come with me and I'll show you the true meaning of loyalty.
And he doesn't like.
It's basically
he walks past him.
Yeah,
He's
just like, come on.
like, come on, I'll show you.
And then he's basically showing these people. It's like him toying with them and threatening with the dragon. Basically,
Well, it's the Kingsguard, basically.
But they've already said, yeah.
And so he's basically like, hey, who you sworn to? How do you recognize
still
that my father named her?
Yeah.
And, if you don't, say it now, because if you fucking
betray us later,
you're not going to get it. No, he says you're not going to get a quick death.
Yeah, right. You tell us now who you're loyal to, and if you're loyal to Hightower, that's fine. We'll kill you now honorably.
Yeah.
If you deceive, you're gonna die, and it's gonna be a lot fucking worse.
Yeah. And they're like, well, you can't really give us the choice. So
like, okay. And he's basically showing, I think, him like, this is what it means to rule. Sometimes you don't get to be your mama's way.
Yeah.
Or anybody else's way. Sometimes you gotta be to people that are, hey, this guy was just your bro this morning. You're just shooting the shit on how Sir what's his name's morning was,
Right.
And now well, your dad's dead and you're in charge. You might need to question Sir What's His Name because Sir What's His Name liked your dad, not necessarily likes you.
Right. And the entire kingdom that he serves, or that he's a king's guard, it's like
Depends on that.
he might be toiling inside if he needs to go back or not. So yeah, you gotta make those hard decisions.
And during Damon's speech of loyalty and the succession and stuff, basically Rhaenyra starts giving birth in a very graphic way. We won't get into the details. It shows it. You've seen it. It's about as graphic as
We were disgusted about feet, and then they did this.
Yeah,
like,
it's just,
way to one up yourselves, guys.
oh yeah, it was. I've read that people were like traumatized. I mean, it's a real part of life, I imagine. So it's not as graphically painful for the mother as that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to watch. It's just
Unnecessary.
I don't even. I would say it's graphic, and it is rare. Like it's not a thing that everybody experiences.
No.
So
I'm sure it probably could have traumatized some women out, some of you women out there,
could
a lot.
Could traumatize some young boys.
Yeah, very much so with the whole thing because it was very sad. It was very, very. This whole fucking show, like you had your sad moments. Original series
the
season
first
1.
queen died in childbirth.
Yeah, but they killed her wrapped up. So it was kind of sad.
What was her name?
Lena.
Lena died in childbirth.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, and you know what? When she gives birth to him, you notice that like it ties her with her dragon. When she's like, it's all, it shows that her dragon.
Is that what it was?
Like,
the dragon later. We'll get to what the dragon does later, but later there's something that the dragon does that I want to bring up this point. Remember this? Yeah, because I was wondering why it was showing that when she was like going into really pushing, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to get the baby out and was not. They were like, "Let us help you." They kept asking. It was
and
really
she's
sad.
like screams, "Get out!"
Yeah.
I guess that's even in the book and stuff. Where she just
yes.
Get out of me! I thought it was gonna be like a dragon baby, or like something fucked up because of the inbreeding and shit.
Yeah, something.
But it wasn't. It was just early.
Way too early, and it's really sad. It hardens her obviously, and then it shows basically
Damon's kind of not where he wasn't there.
Yeah, oh yeah, he completely bailed on it, and then.
But then when she had it, it showed him looking at her.
Yeah, she picks it up. She picks up the little girl. It's a little girl.
Oh, is it a girl?
Yeah, I believe this last one was Visenya. And she sits there and she holds the baby afterwards. She picks up and then holds it, and then that's when Damon comes in, and it shows him kind of look from the hall, like.
Yeah, and I heard there was a deleted
scene where he does.
He goes up and like puts his hand on her and says something.
He puts his hand. The deleted scene where.
Oh no, she says something. He puts his hand on her and she says, "We need to burn it."
Yeah, we need to burn it. And so then it kind of shows her and him separated again, and she's preparing the baby herself. She's not letting the little second sisters or the religious people,
silent sisters or whatever,
the silent sisters. She's wrapping the baby in the clothes to be burned and all that. And it's really emotional.
And he's
on the beach, and it doesn't show. And that's another thing. It shows more of that apparently in the deleted scenes of him getting like wigged out. But I think, and it's not him not wigging out. It's him doing it in his way. Like he can't show everybody that. He's fucking tough guy all the time. He's tough or he's ignorant, and that's like a real breaking moment.
Yeah.
Another one is, fucking everybody's just fucking dropping like flies. Like Viserys.
He lost his brother. Like
but that
not that long ago.
Like that's just.
Well, it's not that long ago.
It's been a few years. Yeah. But Viserys, like that's just him wanting his rage boiling up with the High Towers because. He saw Viserys. How could you not know your brother was on death's door? Like, how did he die? Well, sure, you might not have thought he was going to die last night, but what do you mean, how did he die?
Right.
His fucking heart stopped beating. Look at him.
He's 78 years old and he's missing an eye.
Yeah.
Half his face.
One of his arms.
He swallowed his tongue. That's what happened.
Yeah. Fucking drooling out the side of the hole in his face. It's fucking horrible. So it does... go right to the funeral pyre, and they're kind of standing by each other, and Damon kind of tries to look at her. and she's just kind of
She's just catatonic.
gone, like lost, completely lost. I wrote lost, like yeah, just kind of like
Yeah.
catatonic is better, just like numb.
Because besides this thing about like the only funeral we know she's been to is her mom's. She just found out her dad died. Didn't get to go to that
There,
funeral.
yeah,
And now she's lost her kid.
yeah. Oh, and everything that her father put her through hell for
Yeah.
while he was alive
for
has been taken from her
Mm-hmm.
by her best friend slash dad's new girlfriend's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty situation. And then it shows, dun dun dun, Sir Eric show up, just fucking marches up to the crowd like a boss.
Eric.
No, that was Eric.
No, Eric is the one that is his brother.
We're gonna figure this. We're gonna work out this fucking Eric. There's clearly gonna be a Clegane versus Clegane situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the twinners.
Yeah. I'm saying Eric. I think it's the coolest way to separate them.
Okay, well, whatever one, the good one.
Yeah. Cool.
The fucking decent one shows up, and the fucking Kingsguard for Rhaenyra get ready to fucking pull on him. He's like, "I've come in peace. I mean, no harm, you know." He just fucking drops to his knees, reaches in his bag, and he's got fucking Viserys' crown. Because as we mentioned before, Aegon took the crown
Of Aegon.
right?
Conqueror. He took the crown, title, and sword.
Wow.
And so she's wearing Viserys, and it's got like the golden Targaryen
Symbol, yeah. And right as he hands it to Daemon, and Daemon starts looking at it kind of like, and I don't know, was Daemon like contemplating like, this is it, I've got it in my hand, like?
No, I don't think so.
Or was he contemplating the respect it was shown, like, this is Viserys' crown?
Yeah, like it was like shock and all.
Like, this is the real moment.
This is happening.
She's gonna be queen right now.
Yeah, we have a crown. This is my brother's crown.
Yeah, the crown he wore.
Yeah, and later on, Sir Eric is like on the front lines with the Kingsguard with Daemon when what happens later.
Yeah, so he says, "I swear to war the queen with all my strength, my blood for hers," all that whole thing. And Daemon looks at Rhaenyra, and she's just kind of looking tripped out, like, okay, like we said, this is happening.
Yeah.
And he puts the crown on her head again, which is nice and cute. And he kneels and says, "My queen." He's the first one to do it. And then everyone kneels but Rhaenys. The granddaughter, the little girls, Daemon's daughters, her sons with strong, everybody on the hillside bows. Except
Kneels even.
Yeah, kneels. Rhaenys just fucking sits there and looks like
she's
actually
impressed.
doing it. Yeah, like she's actually doing it.
Yeah.
Like, too bad.
Rhaenys is a little badass. I didn't know she's like coming out of the blue as like one of my favorite characters.
Oh, the old lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. So then it shows Rhaenyra slowly walking in the room, first of her name, right? And it is a badass sequence where she's just walking like
with her guards.
And they're like fucking stacking.
It's like swords. The Imperial March, but like
yeah, they're stacking swords and fucking
because it's like the meeting. Oh yeah, and they light the box of candles.
They light the box of candles and yeah, they slide it under the table. Which I saw a meme today that said it showed the original Game of Thrones when they're all sitting there and there's candles everywhere, and it's Stannis, and it said, "Did nobody tell these motherfuckers that you could light the table up?" Because they're like, it shows like a shit ton of candles around them,
right?
And they're sitting there like that.
Well, was it moved too? Because I think with Stannis around it, is it like almost like a balcony kind of
room
or something?
His is in the fucking viewing room, so I think it's a different table.
Or yeah, different, or it was moved or something.
Yeah, but yeah, they slide the fucking candles on, and that was a really cool moment where it's like just all the areas light up, fucking
the names and everything.
The names, Winterfell, all that shit it looks a lot. It already looked like a badass table, war table, and then that just made it even fucking cooler. So yeah, basically they're prepping all the little pieces, and as she walks in, Daemon announces her, Queen Rhaenyra, first of her name, Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Lady of the Seven Kingdoms, and this instead of Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and all that, which I thought was kind of cool. And then as she goes to walk up to the table, the guards immediately get way up on her, like close to defend her. And she trips out. She's not used to it. So she's like, this whole ceremony, even though she's been prepping for it, she's still not kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's like they're marching with her, and I think it's almost like their like error in like they're not used to having to follow her around. So when she goes to step, they're like, "Oh shit!" And they go to step, and then she just looks at them like, "I'm okay. The table's right here. Like, you can hang out."
Yeah, like, and then the stepdaughter comes up with the fucking wine, your grace, and she's like,
I think
well,
she,
yeah.
yeah, she tripped out though. She's like, "You're not like a cup." Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it because I want you to
Yeah,
stand there
yeah,
with a wine cup in
and
your
then-
hand.
come
Yeah, come with me. Yeah, to kind of like
yeah, like you don't need to sit here.
intensify the situation.
This is not necessary.
Yeah.
And
I love it. She's like, "How many? Like, what's our forces like?" And Damon is just fucking. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this.
Yeah, and
We
then
got
she has,
cavalry, soldiers, this, we got
and he's
dragons.
like, yeah, it's enough to. It's nothing. It's not enough to conquer everything, basically. And he goes, we need allies. We need Tully. And the men discuss the allies some more. Like, what of Stark or Baratheon? And they say, one of my favorite lines. There's never been a Stark who's lived who's forgotten an oath. And with House Stark, the North will follow. Meaning, as long as you get them on, the entire North will follow them.
Yeah.
Which is a massive army. Groups and groups. It's a major part of the map, so that's a lot of men.
Yeah. But it's like not as populated. So
That's the thing.
like,
That's what you think about, though. I'm thinking like, look at all those holds and holdings and all that land. There must be hundreds and hundreds. Not really, because it's sparsely populated.
yeah, it's like Utah's probably like what, maybe 1.5 the population of Los Angeles. But it's like 80 times as big.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, that's true. Rhaenyra says, well, about Baratheon, Lord Boros will need to be reminded of his, father's promises. And
Fucking
basically, what news of Driftmark? She turns around and Rhaenys says, Lord Corlys sails for Dragonstone, and Daemon just cuts in to declare for his queen, and she just kind of smirks at him like, huh. Rhaenys does,
Yeah.
like the whole of the Valyrian fleet is with him, and he's in charge of it. So he'll sail where he wants to go.
Yeah.
That's after he gets here, he'll decide that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna speak for any of that. Don't even
Does
worry
he
about
have
it.
a dragon?
I don't think he was a dragon rider because he mentioned that. So basically, what does he say? What allies do we have? And he's like, well, Lannister has worked for the Hand for too long. He's too loyal. He'll never turn on. So the Lannisters are out. She's like, well, without the Lannisters, we can count on nothing west of the Gold Tooth, right? He's like, no, the Riverlands are essential. That's why I'm the one that's going to go meet them,
Yeah.
we need it. We need it. And she, another lord says, why are we talking about all this? Talking to men is just fine, okay? But you have something that nobody else has and nobody else has seen for centuries, since Valyria. Dragons.
Yeah. How
Like,
many?
why aren't we talking about using dragons? And then basically, he goes into it. Damon says, they only, no, Rhaenyra says, the Greens also have dragons. And that's when Damon cuts in. Is like, they have 3 adults by my count. He goes, we have Cyrax, Craxus, and Melees, which is Rhaenys's, and she kind of looks like,
She
almost
cocks her head and
oh, really?
Motherfucker.
Like, oh, really? You do?
You have my dragon?
That's news to me. I didn't know. I just said my husband's going to have to decide, but you're just fucking claiming my dragon. And, your sons have Virmax, Ares, Taraxis. Bela has Moondancer. And then she's like, none of our dragons been to war. And he goes, well, there are also unclaimed dragons. Sea Smoke is a Driftmark. Vermithor and Silverwing are on the Dragon Mount. And then there are the 3 wild dragons.
No, what?
nested.
Vermithor and
Is the one that-
Silverwing were...
The piece, Jaehaerys, That was Vermithor.
And his
That's,
wives.
yes, and Vermithor is the one believed to be the one that Damon sees here a little bit. That's what some believe.
Okay.
Because he is calm. He's not a wild dragon, right?
Yeah. But he does bring up the wild dragons.
Yeah, he does bring up there are also three wild dragons that have made their nest here. He walks the messenger while they're talking, and he says, "We have 13 to their 4. We gather at Harrenhal, surrounded. We need a place to gather. We gather at Harrenhal. We surround King's Landing and dragons, and we can have every green head mounted on a spike. I think he said, mounted on spikes before the fucking moon's end." Is what he says.
Yeah.
Like that quick, and she's just looking at him like, "Oh my God, damn it! Don't get him all
Is
riled
this
up."
when she tells him, she says, there's a saying, even in old Valeria, when dragons go to war.
No, that's later. That's
okay.
later. But Sir Eric informs her that a ship with a green three-headed dragon, is sailing towards fucking where they are. And they're like, oh, and Otto and fucking Damon's right on it. He's like, fucking man the guard towers, fucking time to mount up, get ready.
Yeah.
Fucking grabs his big ass sword, fucking goes to fucking meet with Otto again.
How many wars do you think he's been in?
They count all little battles as wars,
Okay, well, battles then, because like it seemed like he was doing everything he could to not have to be on the beach until like his brother was saying, "I'm sending people," and he didn't want to look like a bitch.
Well, he was flying around the whole time. He was still fighting. He was just using his dragon as best as he could, it seemed like.
But he seems like a badass.
Yeah,
But it could be the Boba Fett thing. We haven't really, besides that beach scene, we haven't really seen a lot from him.
No, not really. So it is another standoff right there on the bridge, just like years and years before. Otto shows up. Oh yeah, Otto shows up, basically saying, that.
Well, we've been saying this whole time. Aegon's made king.
Yeah, he's like, oh well, hey, Aegon just sent me here, or I'm here on behalf of the Queen, Deferment or something like Queen Deferment, the mother of King Aegon, the second of his name, and my message is only for the Princess Rhaenys. Where is she? And then Daemon just kind of looks up, and you hear, and then she flies around once, comes back, and gets real close to him, and you can even see Otto is real uneasy about dragons. Like, I don't know if he's seen the damage that they could really do at first hand or something, but every time he sees a dragon, he's always like, where everybody else is kind of like, we can deal if we have to. He's the one that's like,
he's also the only one that's not in armor.
Even when he is, though, he still seems like he's the only one that's smart enough to realize, like, you realize we're fucked. Yeah. If she decides to unload on this bridge.
Their escape.
Their escape right there, just like last time. But last time, she was showing up for Otto to go fucking get the egg back against Daemon. This time, she shows up to fucking defend Daemon against Otto, which I thought was kind of a cool little switcheroo. And he's like,
a little loop-de-loo.
Well, Princess Rhaenyra, she's like, it's Queen now. Thank you.
Yeah, I go back.
And all you motherfuckers, well, she doesn't say it like that, obviously. All you motherfuckers are traitors to the realm, And he's like, now, we came here with terms. Basically, you acknowledge Aegon as king and give up this whole claim. You can keep Dragonstone. It'll pass to your kids and their kids after. And guess what? Driftmark, that can go to Jacer or to Lucas. He will be formally fucking declared legitimately the heir, basically by Aegon.
Yeah.
You get to keep that. Basically, give us the throne and we'll give you everything else.
Yeah.
It all belongs to you technically, but we're not going to give up the throne.
He says.
And your kids will have a high place.
Jace can take Dragonstone, Luke will get Driftmark,
and your other sons with Daemon will get to be high places in court. Aegon II will be the king's squire.
Third.
Aegon II. Oh yeah.
Because the other one's second of his name. So
yes, that's what Otto called him.
On the third.
That's what Otto called him.
Yeah.
But fuck up. We should fucking tweet that right now. They're always doing it. We'll be like the guys that found the coffee cup situation. hey, Otto said second. And they'll be like, yeah.
Well, Aegon was the second. He
Yeah,
was
they
born.
said Aegon the second, though. He was referring to like their kid with Daemon. Her kid with Daemon would be the King Aegon's.
So wait, he calls
squire.
their kid the second?
Yeah, he says, yours too. He says, oh, and your other children will also have high places in court. Your two sons with the Prince Daemon. Aegon the second will be the king's cup, or will be the king's squire. Viserys will be his cupbearer. And that's when fucking Daemon's like, no, no, no. I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups for your drunken usurper cunt of a king. That's when he says cunt.
Yeah.
And that's what I wrote that in bold. I was like, he's nailing it. He's nailing it.
Oh yeah.
And Otto's like, he sits on the throne, wears the conqueror's crown, wields the conqueror's sword, and has his name.
He was anointed by the high stepped
in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
You know? And Stark, Baratheon, and Tully, they're already got our first that they're considering, bitch.
Yeah, it says every symbol of a king is
his already.
Yeah, he already owns that.
And she's like, they swore to me. And he's like, don't let stale oath. Don't think that stale oaths are gonna put you on the Iron Throne. The line of succession changed the day your father sired a son. I'm only sorry that you and him were the last ones to see it. And then she fucking flips out and walks up. She goes, you're no more a hand than Aegon is a king, you fucking traitor.
He just takes his hand pin off.
And then he kind of looks at her kind of, and everybody fucking tense. And then
Eric on Rhaenyra's side and Eric on Otto's side, both like have slipped their sword out of their sheath.
Looking at each other, yeah. And basically Otto calls Maester up, who hands him a piece of paper, and fucking Daemon's like, fuck is this shit? Turns out it's that torn page that thought of no significance other than a little friendship thing when they were kids.
Episode like what, 2 or 1?
Yeah, 1 or 2. I think it was 1. Rhaenyra stole the page, ripped the page out of the book.
Because she like memorized it.
And it was the one about the queen, or the gal getting to where she was free, and then burning all the ships to let her people know that they were free. So basically, I don't know if that was like just a message of like, remember we used to be buddies, or if like the story behind the page, it's like a remember how this princess did what was best for the people.
Yeah.
And what was best for the people
I was thinking about the story symbolism.
Was destroying her whole fleet, which seemed like a really fucking cataclysmic bad idea, but was really what's best for her people. So like, was that like a message to Rhaenyra, like, no bloodshed, give up?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like, remember when you were young and you didn't want nothing to do with this? I'm giving you that back.
Yeah.
I'm giving you that back. You don't have to worry about it. You can go be your dirty, hoary self, your filthy uncle, and your gross ass kids. And I'll keep my gross ass kids. And, we'll just do our own thing and we'll be done with it. And it could be either or, because she did get kind of teary-eyed. So I don't know if that also, maybe it was like a legitimate, like, sad, kind of like, oh, she is reminding me of like, I didn't want none of this, and I could just avoid all of this.
This is all before she knew about the Solid Ice and Fire.
Yeah, that was before she knew about the prophecy and all that shit. And he basically says Queen Alicent hasn't forgotten about the love you had for each other, and she eagerly awaits your answer. And fucking Daemon has him again, and he goes, she can have her answer right now, stuffed in her father's mouth, along with his withered cock. Now let's end this murmurs farce. And he's like, swords drawn, and he's like, Sir Eric, bring me Lord Hightower, so I may have the pleasure myself. And Rhaenyra and the dragon, like, this is the part I was asking you about. You said that she, like, with her emotion and stress, the dragon was reacting, like connecting, right?
Yeah.
Was that possibly when she started wigging out about, like, having an emotional moment between Daemon about to start a fight, them about to kill each other, but also being overwhelmed with what Alicent's little message was? The dragon was feeling her emotions, like freaking out, like, oh, shit's about to go down.
I don't remember the dragon, like...
The dragon rears up. When everybody pulls their swords, the dragon rears up, but he's way behind everyone and could just torch that whole fucking bridge, except she's in the middle. I don't know, but the dragon freaks out too.
I think that's just like almost like how Olive reacts to
Mhm.
like if you go to fuck with Dylan or something like
Yeah,
that. Like the dragon's just like
she's in the
stop
middle,
movement around
and
my
it-
master.
yeah,
You know?
and she's right in the middle, and everybody's getting all hyper around her. Yeah.
Which also I was thinking it hasn't really indicated or disproved. Could one of them two be a dragon like impervious to flame? Because remember when I said, actually, I'm gonna ask this question when we get to the dragon part. Keep going.
Okay, so basically, she says no. She doesn't want to do it, and she's like, King's Landing will have my answer on the morrow. And then it's back in the war room, and Damon is explaining, it's tough to kill a dragon slayer, but it can be done. Dragons can kill dragons. That can be done.
Yeah, it's tough to kill a dragon by hand, but dragons kill dragons all the time.
Yeah, but dragons kill dragons every time. And Rhaenyra says, Viserys told me the histories. I remember them well, And they all end basically in if dragons go to war, everything burns. And I have no interest in ruling over a kingdom of ash and bone. What's that? And he says basically, Damon's basically that's your father talking.
So my father's dead.
She's like, my father's dead, and he named me successor to defend the realm, not to cast it into war. And he's like, the enemies have fucking declared war. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Like in front of everybody. And then that's when she's like, clear the room.
Yeah.
And she wants to go fucking talk to him. She's like, does this fucking like get your fucking dick hard or what? She doesn't say that. She's like, she doesn't say excite you. She says it in a more dignified way than I did. But fucking modern times, that's what she would say. Basically, yeah, does war excite you? And he's like, you can't bend the knee to the high towers. They fucking stole your birthright. You're not gonna, And she's like, and she calls it out like we've been saying, She's like, if you could end this all and not put Otto Hightower's head on a spike, would you?
Yeah.
Like if it's basically like if it determined if to end this all meant letting Otto Hightower live, could you do it? Meaning you couldn't. Like you would, we would continue this for fucking 10 more years just to make sure that Otto Hightower dies.
Yeah.
That's what it's about for you, kind of thing. You just want to fucking win. You just want to win him, no matter what it takes.
Yeah.
To be the best. And he's like, "What? You're not angry?" And she's like, "What? So I should declare war because I'm angry?"
Right.
He's like, "No, but you're supposed to fucking show that you're strong. A queen's duty is to fucking squash people who fucking question her and rebel.
Squash rebellion.
Yeah, squash rebellion. And this is bullshit." And she's like, "Well, you know that my legacy is more important than that. But the Song of Ice and Fire, this and that." And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "The Song of Ice and Fire, the war with the North, the evil in the North, Aegon's prophecy." And he just fucking grabs her right up by the throat, and he's just like, I got it written down. My brother was a slave. What does he say?
To his omens and importance.
Yeah, to his omens importance. Anything to make his feckless reign seem worth it.
Yeah, justified or legit or whatever.
Yeah, to make it to appear to have purpose.
He was a king of peace,
yeah,
and he just needed something
to make it appear to have purpose. Is what he says. To make it appear to have purpose. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did. And then he just kind of sits there, and it looks like he's struggling with it, just understand almost. Like, don't you get it? This fucking pussy shit isn't gonna fly.
Yeah.
We gotta burn them all. Real fucking King Ares style, Fucking burn them all. And then he lets her go, and then she realizes. And she kind of chuckles, and she says that, she's like, he never told you, did he? And then he looks kind of, and walked away pissed off.
I think he looks like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, of course he didn't tell me, like, you have to fucking
And that is a revelation for him. And I think that was part of the grabbing her. I think it wasn't just like a anger about the prophecy.
I think the grabbing her was an initial instinct. I think letting her go was more of his realization.
That Damon never, or that Viserys never trusted him?
It was never his. He was never in line.
Yeah, and I think that was a traumatic thing for him. That whole realization in that scene was like, never. That means because that realization with finding out that the prophecy was never told to him means that even in the worst case scenario, he didn't consider me.
Yeah.
Like he would have gone a whole fucking Jacaerys route and just disavowed me and went to some other lord that wasn't even a Targaryen
Yeah.
because he didn't trust me that bad. Like that would suck when you had such love for your big brother and he thought you were that much of a fuck up and recluse.
But the funny thing is, like, at the same time, for him saying that, it's just an excuse for Viserys to like
Appear to have purpose.
Yeah, feel better about his reign. I think that it almost makes him feel better about her being queen. He was like, that's why he named her. Like, it has to be his line, you know, and so it couldn't be me.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he at first he was like, I was never in line, but he's like, wait, if he truly believed this prophecy, that's why. Like a little, like, oh, okay, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, even though it's stupid and the prophecy's
Yeah, he doesn't believe it, but he's like, oh, my brother did, and that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little comfort.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's not so bad. So then, the sea snake awakens, and it's cute because his wife is like nodded off by him. He's like
still by his side, sleeping.
And he wakes her up, and he's like, "I've had men whipped for falling asleep on watch." And he smiles at her, and she just looks at him with fucking. Once she knows that he's alive and well,
yeah,
she looks at him like, "You abandoned me all these years to fight a war for what? Our children are fucking dead. Everything, you know." And he's like, she's like, "You abandoned me." He's like, "Well, I had nowhere else to turn. I lost everything." She's like, Corliss, we lost everything. You know, I'm your wife. They were my fucking kids too. And I didn't get to go fucking run off and sail and fucking murder all my hatred and sadness away. I had to sit here and play nice with the bitch. They killed her son.
They took take our granddaughters, or she said something like that.
Yeah.
Too. I'd watch our granddaughters get sold off, not sold off. But.
And while you're going off just killing people and having a jolly old time with it.
And he's like, "You're right." Like,
yeah, he's like, "You were right this whole time. What all this time I've wasted? All this time I've wasted and for nothing. The Iron Throne, our pursuit of it's done. So let's just retire to drift, you know, to the what's the name of this castle?
High Tide.
High Tide. With our grandchildren, enjoy watching, you know, spend time with our grandchildren. Basically, the ones that are going to take over Driftmark, whatever.
Yeah.
And just basically declare for no one. Just be done with it." And she's basically like, Lucas, and you know, intends to inherit Driftmark and Viserys, and they've already, you know, basically disavowed him and this and that. So those boys will never be safe.
And he's like, "I don't give a fuck." He's like, "She was completely complicit in the death of
our son. Everything she touched turns to fucking just poison. She's poison. You know, she's no good. And
I think that's what she's like, "That little girl is."
Yeah, and then she's like, "Really? Really?" Yeah.
Right now.
She's like, and that's what she says. She's like, she's the only one not running to war. All these men are jumping at the painted table, screaming at her to go to war, and she's the only one showing restraint. And then it does show her sitting there thinking, and they're bickering over here, and they're bickering over here, and they're bickering over here. "No, you're an idiot. Well, it's easy for you to stay up in your castle, bitch," and all that. And she really is sitting there, like, actually, like, thinking smart about everything. So the sea snake joins the discussion right after that.
And Sir Eric announces it, which I thought was kind of cool because he's the one that rescued Rhaenys.
And he walks in. They're all like, whoa. He walks in. And where's, you know, "I'm sorry to hear about your father. He was kind. He's a good man. Isn't that? Where's Damon?"
Because he killed his brother.
Yeah, Damon's off and doing important things. Blah 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 blah.
He had another
errand to run.
Prior engagement.
And then, so he's like, "Okay, well." Talking the situation, he's like, "Well, I can see that you have a pretty good sized force, but this isn't a conquering force. Like, you ain't gonna take the Iron Throne with this."
Yeah.
And she's basically like, well, I was hoping to have Stark, Baratheon, Tully, and he's like, hope is a fool's ally. She's like, well, these ones are related to my family, and the other ones swore fealty to me, as did House Hightower, as I recall.
And she's like, as did you.
As did you. And he's like,
Touche.
and he's like, all right, well, so basically, this cannot stand. The Hightower's treason cannot stand. Your father's realm, that's what he says, your father's realm was a realm of peace and honor and dignity. This treason cannot stand. My fleet and my army stands with you.
My family,
And my fleet stands with you, your grace. And she's like, you honor me, Lord Corlys. And he just looks at Pastor kind of like at his wife, like, no,
I think she also kind of did. She turns around. She was like,
but I think he was like,
his ring.
but that was him kind of saying it to himself too, like, no, my wife did.
Yeah.
Like if we had
I
gone,
was heated and was saying, fuck you.
I was gonna say, fuck you, let you fucking live in the mess you fucking made for yourself with your dirty, filthy, whorish ways. You'd have just fucking had a kid with my son, at least one. We
She
wouldn't be in this.
tried.
No, the son didn't try hard enough.
No, I'm just saying they tried.
So basically, he says, well, one of the benefits to my near demise in the Stepstones is that we now control it. I took care to fortify it this time. Blockades on the shipping lanes are up now. If not now, will be up shortly. And we can cut off all fucking supply chains.
All trade or whatever.
All trade and supply trains to King's Landing. Basically, effectively cutting off their fucking fresh food, anything, nothing. Fucking shutting them
We'll
down.
just wait them out like a siege style. And
then it's like,
Rhaenys is like, well, we'll patrol dragons. I'll take Melise.
yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, we still need to concern ourselves with the other allies. Okay, well, Storm's End, and okay, what was it? North to the Starks. Okay, well, send us, mother. If they're guaranteed, if they're easy,
like,
because
we need to. Well, no, because they're like, we're gonna send ravens to.
Yeah, and Jace was like, dragons are faster than ravens.
And they make more of a statement.
Yeah, and they're
more convincing.
Yeah, they're more convincing, and Corlys is like, they're right, and he's basically thinking like, it is time for them to step up, and they're gonna have to be in charge here pretty soon.
Yeah, you're fighting for their.
I mean, you take King's Landing, I'm retiring. I'm still retiring.
Yeah.
I'm not fit to fight. I'll give you my fleet, but I'm still fucking gonna sit back.
I'll probably hand it off to Luke before I even die. I don't want to handle that
not
shit.
now.
Yeah, not right now.
Get that out. But basically, they want to go. Well, Luke doesn't want to go. Jace wants to go, but and he's like, "Come on, don't be a pussy, man. We're doing this for mom."
So she sends Jason the longer one.
Yeah, and she's like, "You go to the north. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're loyal. They're good people. And you go to Storm's End. It's a short flight. You get home and fucking by the end of the night."
Yeah, it's south here. It's short, and the Baratheons are really close allies to us or whatever.
Yeah. Your grandmother was a Baratheon, or your Aunt Renee's, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know, he's a proud man. Just let him think he's like.
He'll be glad to host a prince of the realm.
Yeah. Boom. So then, quick cut before he goes. So they leave. But before they leave, she says, okay, now, when they're going to get on their dragons, they're all dressed up, ready to fucking go. And she's like, no, wait. Before you go, boys, go. Come here. Now, I want you to tell me right now, promise me, you go there as messengers only. No partaking in any fighting or competitions of any kind or anything like that. None. You go there as fucking emissaries, envoys only. You promise? You swear? Yes, mother. Yes, mother. Okay. Now swear it on the 7th. And she has, which God rest my mother's soul, but my mom used to do this when she was really testing me if I was lying and I was sticking to it. And that's how she'd get me. She'd pull out the Bible. So that's basically what she did. Like, swear on the Bible. Swear on the 7th.
She says, I want you to swear in the side of the 7th.
Yeah, in the side of the 7th. Basically the same meaning. Swear on the Bible. Swear on the 7th. And they're like, And Luke's just fucking straight up to do it. Sweet. And I'm going to tell everybody that tries to pick a fight with me that I swore to God I wasn't going to, so they will not think I'm a pussy. And Jason's like, all right, fuck, whatever. And then, okay, off they fly. And then all three of them fly in their directions. But then it cuts real quick to Damon. And I don't know he's obviously singing some old Valerian song. Just creeping down. And all you're getting is the light of the torch and like this much of his face. And just like, whatever the fuck he's singing. Really, it's really pretty song, but it's obviously like old Valerian is the only thing that makes sense.
The melody or cadence of it almost sounded close to The Rains of Castamere.
Like a lullaby.
Whatever,
But he gets in there, okay. And this ties my question, a good question that I need to look up once they tell us who that one is. Because he goes down there and he's whistling, and there's this big dragon that gets alerted to his presence and gets right there. And this thing, when it stands at first,
it's fucking huge.
It's like, okay, so is the one
I wouldn't say it's as big as Vagar, but
so it's not as big as
huge.
It's not as big as Vagar.
It's bigger than Caraxus.
Yeah. It's a big ass.
I don't know for sure. But it doesn't look as big as Vagar. It's fucking huge.
Oh yeah. And we will see that here momentarily. Yeah. We will see that momentarily. So yeah, he sits and he's soothing it now. And now if he is as big or close to as big as Vagar, obviously the ploy is with Damon. My thought anyway, my obvious thought is that if he's going down to get that dragon out from under there, and it's that big, it's because the Greens have the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to have like an equal playing field. Yeah, we've got more still, but if one of theirs could take out three of ours in a fucking wing slap because it's so goddamn huge, we're going to need another big boy.
Yeah.
So he's like, fucking, yeah, and this thing's fucking massive.
Big.
It's right above D's head right now. Fucking huge. So then it cuts to Jace flying into Storm's End, which looks really cool from the rain and the fucking flight pattern and everything, way they shoot it. They digitalize it. It's not like they followed a dragon in a helicopter. But he lands, and I find it weird that the guards I guess you would take his word for it because he landed there on a fucking dragon. But at first glance, when I first watched it, I was like, they just took him at his word that he's the prince, this and that, and just got out of his way. But now, looking back, he did have a dragon, so
yeah,
and he's definitely somebody important. And what are we gonna say? No, he's got a fucking dragon.
Well, as he's walking in, you see Vagar.
Yeah, up on the fucking tower. So
and
you got
it's like bigger than the fucking castle.
Oh yeah, and he's like, it looks like
a Brontosaurus.
Yeah, it looks like a horror movie, like Jurassic Park, the first
Godzilla
one.
Just rising out because he's just like.
But you don't. But they show him in glimpses, so they show like the lightning flare, and then you just see like half, and it's not even probably half of him.
No, it's mostly just his neck.
And then it's slinking by real quick at a shot, and it's like, whoa. And then he's clear. Somebody's there.
And as he's like walking, he's like keeps looking behind him, like fucking, that's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, like holy shit. And then he's obviously stressed. He gets there, and his uncle's already there. The one he fucking stabbed the eye out of. Aemond is
obviously Vagar's there. You can assume Aemond's there.
And he basically says, "I'm here with my mother's proposition." He's like, "Whoa, really? Well."
Well, he says the queens.
Yeah, the queens. And he's like, really?
I already heard about a king.
A king? A new king just sent me a message saying that, wanting my fealty, this and that. And he's like, well, here's the letter. And then it runs it up to, he's like, where's the Maester? So obviously this new Baratheon can't even fucking read.
He's like a Kmart Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
But without the personality.
He's really bad. He comes back, the Maester reads it to him, and then he's just like...
It's all pissed.
Oh, yeah. He's like, be reminded of my father's oaths. Like,
he's like, at least he came with a
at
proposition
least,
to marry.
Yeah, at least King Aegon comes with a proposition, a marriage proposal. Which one of my daughters are you gonna marry? And he's like, I can't marry. I'm already betrothed. And he's like, so you're empty-handed. Go home, pup, and tell your mother that the Lord of Storm's End can't just be summoned like a dog to be fucking set on her enemies. And then he says, I'll tell the queen.
Yeah.
Not I'll tell my mother. Like, I'll tell the queen your message. And then he goes to turn around, and Aemon's like, wait, Lord Strong. And the fucking stupid kid reacts to it. First of all, the minute you hear that fucker's voice, you leave. Because he's got a bone to pick with you, little dude.
It's been brewing.
He's got his eye on you, so to speak.
It's been brewing for like 10 years.
Yeah. So he's fucking pretty pissed, and he's like, so you thought you could just fly around the kingdom trying to steal my brother's throne? And he's like, I'm not going to fight you. And he's like, no, fight wouldn't be any
fair.
Kind of, yeah, it wouldn't be any kind of challenge.
Yeah.
Aemon says, no, I just want your eye. One will suffice.
Yeah, you owe me a debt. I won't blind you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blind you. One will suffice, just like you did to me. And he pulls out his fucking knife and throws it to him. But then I can't remember if he does that. I think he pulls the bandana or the eye patch off first.
Yeah, it's when he yells at him. He's like, I want your eye. Or whatever.
Yeah, he pulls it off before because he says he wants the eye. But then the blue crystal, which you told me was his sigil in the last episode.
His sigil in the intro.
Yeah, in the intro, had a blue crystal, and you told me it was his. But now we know why his sigil was blue, because he's got some sort of like sapphire fucking stone eye, which I guess if you're a rich kid, what kind of glass eye are you gonna have, right? But yeah, he's like basically like, I want an eye. I'm not gonna blind you. One will suffice. I want to give it as a gift to my mother. And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, so you're a craven and a traitor. And he just goes to leave. And he goes, hey, I will have that eye. Give me that eye, bastard. You know, and then fucking Baratheon's like, no. He came here as a fucking messenger. I'm not going to have any blood spilt in my fucking hall. Like, no.
Yeah.
Not here. Like, I already fucking told him his piece.
He's like, you guys like came here to try and get me to your side, which means obviously there's not a war yet. I'm not going to have it fucking start
here.
Yeah.
Because then I'm pressured to make a choice right now.
Like, I'm being told that I housed it, allowed it to happen by both sides.
And basically, I've got to, whoever wins this fight, I'm automatically siding with.
Yeah, basically. Because you both got dragons.
Yeah. So, he's like, basically, see Lord Lucerys to his fucking dragon. And Aemon's like, yeah, I will have that eye, bastard, or something like that. And he shows Jace running, and he's like, calm down to his dragon, and he's, calm down. What's his dragon's name again?
Arax,
yeah. Arax, something like that. Arax? Arax, that sounds better, Arax. He's like, calm down, and he gets up, gets on him, goes to fly.
Let's get out of here.
Let's focus. Let's get out of there. It's flapping.
It's all stormy and shit now. Before it was just raining. Now it's like fucking
thunder, bad.
Which I thought was kind of funny. I was like, is it always stormy? It storms in, like
obviously. And it's just flying, and then you just see like before, just lightning strikes and just little. But then it does have the best shot, and we will put that one up here, of fucking Eric's flying, and then just fucking Vhagar above him.
Behind him, basically.
Oh, he's about as big to the torso of Vhagar. It's just fucking sad. Like, whoa. You get a real grasp of it when you see, because you see how big that dragon is compared to the humans, which is not massive compared to like Daemon's or anything, but it's still like, wow, that's a big fucking thing. So to think that big fucking thing that's the size of like a fucking tractor, basically, Lucerys's dragon, is a fucking couple of fingers to that fucking dragon that's fucking above it. It's just,
shit.
It's scary. It's like ominous.
Fucking with them hard.
Yeah, just fucking.
almost snatches him with
Yeah,
the
come on, and then snaps at his tail with the fucking thing, fucking with him like, I will have that eye, you know. He's like fucking running, and then the boy's smart enough to go down into the cavern where
where he's
fucking
just like
Vagar's,
cruising the canyon.
yeah, with his small dragon, because you were even pointing out to me when we were watching it that I was thinking smaller, easier to maneuver, so he would have the advantage, but you pointed out Vagar was faster. And then I was like, well, that would be because his wingspan and his length, he's covering a lot more ground and less,
Yeah.
exertion. But his size did come against him in the canyon. The boy goes down in the canyon, and his wingspan's just too big.
His whole body's too
Yeah,
fucking
so
big.
Eamon has to kind of like
Get him
fucking
up
go
over.
way up above, and he's just kind of looking down, waiting, and the kid's just like, and then that's when he starts to dart up. Right, and he starts
It
to
doesn't
dart
really
up.
show him dart up. It kind of shows it from Eamon's perspective. He's like looking
No,
around
but
like he
does it-
lost
but
him in
does
the
it-
fog.
But does the kid say, "Obey me" before you see
No.
him do that? He's saying that as he's doing it.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, Eamon's looking around like, where the fuck you
And he
go? I lost him in the
looks
fog. And then just out of nowhere through the fog, fucking
Hey Rex,
Arax comes flying in like
burst in flame.
sideways at him like he's gonna T-bone him, and shoots flame all along like the neck of Vagar.
Yeah, and misses.
And then as he banks and takes off, you
You hear
hear Luke going, "No, no, listen to me, obey me, obey me." And he fucking, and Luke fucking comes out on the big, above the storm basically. Like,
I thought that was Eamon saying that to Vega. Was saying "Obey me."
He does that.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, so Luke is saying it in Old Valyrian.
Oh,
And Eamon just, I think he's so surprised or whatever, so freaked out.
realizing that he's
just
losing
saying it-
control. He's
saying
losing
it in
control.
English.
Yeah.
So Luke fucking blows fire
Arabs,
at him
yeah.
and is taking off. He's like, "Oh, no, no, obey me, obey me!" And he gets up into the fucking clearing above all the storm and
Clouds.
thing, and it's blue skies, and the top of the top of the clouds are white
Above the cloud bank, yeah.
And when the bank happened, Vagar starts to take off after him, and that's when you hear Eamon. So, no, 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 obey me. Oh, no, 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 obey me. No, 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 no. And fucking Luke's just chilling up there in the fucking
Looks to the side.
awesomeness of these white clouds, and then fucking Vagar, his fucking dude, like, so this is Vagar's mouth. Like, this is how big that dragon is. Like, he fucking chomped, and the thing just split into 40 pieces.
Yeah, a few
He didn't even eat it. He just bit down and let go, and it's just
shredded him. Shredded the dragon, and then Eamon looks around and sees it, and it looks like a fucking jet that just got
flat spin. You know,
yeah,
just
different
all
parts.
the
But
pieces.
it's
It's like
different
those
parts.
helicopter things you throw
Yeah.
up as a kid. you know?
Yeah, but different parts, like you said, like 3 different parts going in fucking, and none are clearly the boy. So the boy either got killed on the bite, well, it doesn't matter. Fucking body parts are
Even
flying.
if he didn't, he's not gonna survive that.
No, no, no. And Eamon just looks like, oh fuck. Like, I wanted to fuck with him. I could have got away with the eye. Like, even if I had cut out his eye, and, we're already at war for one, but that, we could declare that as just payment for what he owed me.
Yeah.
But killing him
And the dragon.
and the dragon. Like, we're not supposed to
Like,
kill our
that's a straight
dragon.
up act of war.
Yeah, we're not supposed to kill dragons. And we're not supposed to kill family members.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, fucking what do they call it?
Kinslayer.
Kinslayer. Yeah.
But then it cuts to just a Damon walking in slow, and Rhaenyra's talking, war table talk, and it just doesn't even.
It's a very slow mo, just somber music shot, doesn't it? You don't hear anything.
And he grabs her at first, and he walks her away from the table
towards the hearth. Yeah.
So towards the fire, yeah, the hearth, so that nobody sees at first, and then she just kind of shows from the back, and just kind of shows like devastation, like crying for a second, and then just breathes up, and you just see the back of her head like that, and then just turns around, and she's got that fucking evil face that we will put next to Danny's picture, because I saw the fucking meme, and it shows that they have the same face. Did you ever see the one of Viserys too, with the Viserys' smile with his fucking Daenerys has that too. I wonder if the new actors fucking practice looking like her just to make it more fun, or it's just a wild-eyed coincidence. I doubt that. But yeah, she looks just fucking like now my son. So fucking in the last little while, at least in the last 10 years, less than that even, she's lost Harmon Strong, her love. Right?
Talking about love.
Before Damon, yeah. She had accepted she wasn't going to go for Damon. She would have went.
Yeah, but I think it was just like convenient. Like, I'm not saying she didn't have feelings for him.
But it didn't start out that way.
But I don't think it was like, yeah.
Well, it never starts out that way, D. When you meet him at a pool hall and you bang
Okay,
in the
so you got
and you bang in the bathrooms of the nightclub, D.
Harwin, her father,
Her children,
Visenya, Luke, her mother,
and she's only like what 28.
Sir Caswell. She doesn't know about that, but I'll throw that in there.
Yeah, that good old creepy uncle, that relative of hers. Yeah. I don't know. It was 2020.
Oh, well, that's the end basically.
Yeah, the
Shows
end
her
is
she just looks and
just fucking
That's
hate in her face, and then boom. So the war is on, and now she will not hold back. I'm sure she still has. There's plenty of legitimate reasons to be smart, but now she's the Targaryen's gonna kick in.
right. And that final scene, like, I was really upset. Like, obviously with any season finale, Game of Thrones, just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wait that long for that big of a cliffhanger, but like honestly, they named it the Black Queen, which I didn't like for the whole entire episode. But the ending, did really fit with that.
The Black Queen is like in mourning.
Well, yeah, in mourning. Well, the thing is, it's the blacks and the greens. That's how it's always referred.
Oh, okay.
So it's multiple or double entendre, whatever you want to call it. But at the end, it's like not only mourning, but black is in like
death.
Yes,
Dark,
death,
sad,
sinister, dark.
Sad.
I'm gonna come fuck your shit up. Yeah.
You brought down the thunder now. You got it, bitch. So that's
Little
it.
Thunder. That's some lightning.
So that is it for season 1 of The North Remembers. Thank you guys for watching. Those of you who did, we do have a few views on a few of them, so we did all right. Dee did an amazing job. Thank you, Dee, for all the awesome job and the awesome job he's going to do with all this. Or he's already done all this. It's like Bill and Ted.
No, it's him this time.